everybody, and welcome again to the Rancher in Stilettos presents Cocktails and Conversations. And my guest today is the lovely Serena Arabyan. Welcome, Serena. How are
Thank
you?
you. I'm so honored to be here. I'm wonderful today, having a beautiful day. How are you?
I'm fantastic. And, just for some background there, I've known you, what, about 2 or 3 years? 3 years, 3 years, yeah. And we have had such a beautiful relationship as friends. And I'm kind of like your chocolate mama, which is something I'm so proud of. Um, but you are also a rancher. You have read all the books and you are loving the story. So I wanted to bring you on just to get some input from you. What did you love about the Rancher and Stiletto series?
I loved the sisterhood.
Mm.
Um, I mean, yeah, I feel like that maybe I don't know if anyone else has given that answer, but
The Sisterhood of the Dreamers, absolutely.
I feel like that's the heartbeat of the book, you know? And it's something that is beautiful to see is that even though there is romance, passionate romance, intense romance, real love, even though that is so present, I think that the thread of sisterhood and mutual empowerment and connection and trust is even deeper than the romance in the books. And that's something that just resonates with me in my life and community and sisterhood. So I think that's my favorite part.
Okay, okay. Of the guys, who's your favorite guy in the story?
The one that, oh, should I not spoil it?
No, it's your favorite guy. You're good.
The guy that gets left at the altar is my favorite guy.
Okay, okay. So maybe I did need to rein you in just a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. Spoiler alert from Miss Serena. Thank you very much. It's okay.
Oh,
So
I won't say his name, so we don't know who it is.
okay, very good. But why?
Because of his actions, because of the way that he shows up for the love of his life, because of his consistency, because of his gentleness, because of the the clean and heart-led way he expresses love and doesn't let his pride or insecurities get in the way. But for one moment, okay,
Okay, I was about to say, I was
just
about
one
to say,
moment,
this man
but
is not perfect.
what man is perfect and doesn't have a moment?
I know, I know, I
I
know.
For me, the ideal is someone whose baseline is operating as a king, and he is. So he's my favorite.
A king, and I mean, okay, you see the lead guy as a king. You think he is that sincere when it comes to our main character, Zaid.
I thought so.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's
No,
how
no, 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 no. There's no wrong answer at all. I'm curious. I want to know what you feel.
more so than any of the others for sure.
Well, yeah, you do have a point there.
Yeah.
And what did you feel or how did you feel when, as you say, someone got left at the altar? Maybe that was not the person that you thought that should not have happened. The other guys are sort of like have been in her life, for a while. The person she kind of chooses, if you will, is relatively new. And you weren't feeling that?
No, I wasn't. I thought it was the easy way out to jump right to someone new on the back end of a big emotional decision. I
Right.
think I think that that is um listen, I think when it comes to love, we all have to go all in and do whatever we feel is right in the moment. I'm just speaking from the outside in on what might be best for her to find her happily ever after. Maybe that wasn't the best decision.
So,
Um,
based on what you have read and understand from the stories about Zaid, do you necessarily think that the last guy is the last guy?
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I just, hmm, I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I'm looking at it too much from the lens of what I would have done. And so maybe I'm not being fair to her because again, I really believe that in our own journeys to find love, like we have to handle it in a way that honors our energy, our essence, the way that we move, the pace at which we move. Like maybe that was really true for her. And so I don't necessarily think it's the last guy, and maybe it's just part of the way that she expresses herself and finds her way to whatever is the ultimate thing. It just, again, maybe I'm looking at it from how I would have gone about it, and I
Right.
feel like time and space were needed in that moment.
And that's totally understandable because as the writer, it's hard for me to separate how Marcia would have acted versus my character. And it kind of infiltrates sometimes. So I totally get that. Um, what other characters resonated with you?
Hmm. I really love the brother character,
Nash? Yeah.
Nash. I really love him. I really love um his connection with her, his protectiveness, his support, his warmth. Um, yeah, he was one of my favorites also.
Yeah, and I love Nash as well. Everybody knows Nash is one of my favorite characters. And, Nash, very much like Serena in my real life, is one of those people who makes a decision not to be a yes person, And you and I have had those conversations where I ask you a question and it's just like brutal honesty, which I absolutely love. And that's the way Nash is with Zayd, and at some point do you remember the scene where she gets caught cheating? She kind of confesses because information's overheard. But the one person that she's, I guess, wanting to make sure she doesn't disappoint or even feels like there's a problem that she might have disappointed him is Nash. and
Mhm.
and Nash knows her so well that after this long day of wondering how they'll make up, or after he basically completely berated her over what happened, the cheating, and he comes to her because he realizes she needs him to forgive her, and that's family. I mean, other people, whatever, you can kind of understand if they decide to limit their ability to forgive, and she needed Nash to forgive her. She truly needs him to forgive her.
Yeah.
How do you feel about his girlfriend, the whole Luana Nash scenario?
I just feel like she's not the one. I mean,
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, it's just not. It's
Well,
just
by book three, he's still there. So
that
he
doesn't matter.
wants.
Men can be with a woman for 10 years and she's a placeholder. It doesn't matter that
Oh,
he's
ouch, ouch. It's true, true that. Yeah, yeah.
even good men don't want to be alone, you know.
Right, right,
I just don't take the time to mean more than his actions. And he's
right.
consistently putting this other woman ahead of the woman who's supposed to be the main woman in his life. Because I still believe, you know, again, this is
Come
the way
on, come
I
on. It's okay. Say it.
operate. When I'm in a relationship, I don't care what men I was friends with before, that those relationships have to be put to the side. Like we are not spending intimate times together. Like this is my man, you know?
Right.
And I think vice versa, like that level of respect for their intimacy and to give their relationship space to grow. He didn't give that.
Yeah.
I,
Do,
and
do you,
I believe if she was the one, he would have.
Mhm. Right, right. So what do you feel that should have been a conversation that he had with Zayd to say, you need to, we got to have some boundaries here so that I'm not making her uncomfortable.
Well, not necessarily because again, I don't believe he feels that she is the one. And so in that case, he's she's letting him get away with it, and he's going to get away with it because he doesn't care enough to have that conversation.
Right, right,
If he felt that strongly, then yeah, that would be the conversation, but I don't think he felt that strongly. So then the responsibility would be on the woman to say, like, this is not in alignment with what I expect from my partner, so I'm going to go ahead and take some space, you know?
right,
But
right.
so it just depends, like, where the feelings are, who's responsible, and I just don't think his feelings for her were there.
Okay, okay. So the fact that he runs to Zayd anytime she is distraught or needs him, even though they're like brother and sister, you still feel that way?
No, that
Okay,
doesn't
okay.
matter.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of the dreamers, which one's your favorite?
Oh, Zayd, of course.
I'm sorry?
Yes, of course, Zayd is my favorite.
Okay, of her friends.
Oh, her friends. Um, hmm. Oh, you know who I like? Um, William's wife,
Oh, Jayla.
Ayla.
Okay, okay, interesting.
I feel like she surprised me
Uh-huh.
and knows how to use her feminine graces to get what she wants, and I like that. I
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
That's a great point that you're bringing out because, he's very demanding. He's kind of one to keep her in a box. And if working with Big Dream Threads, their company did anything for her, I think it was to wake her up to the fact that, she's still feminine, she still wants to look pretty, but she wants to do those things for herself, not just for him. And, he was very much against her participating with the Dreamers in their business.
Mhm.
But he kind of came around when, she started acting a little sexier and feeling better about herself.
Yeah, I love it too because I feel like it provided an alternative to, I mean, divorce is so prevalent in
Yep.
our society, and it would be so easy. Even my first read, I was like, I don't think their relationship is like really, really working for either of them because of his controlling nature. But when she was able to be her true self and really be her, and I think that's where a lot of divorce comes from, is people like go through whole marriages feeling like they didn't get to be themselves
Right. I totally agree with that.
back by that person, even if they were complicit in holding themselves back. And I've just heard that a lot, and so seeing her not take that route, but actually, like you said, have an awakening to her
Mhm.
own self, to her own power, to her own juice, and like really bring that to him and have it completely change the dynamic. I just loved that. I thought that was amazing.
Oh, cool. And that's interesting because I don't think anybody would have, she doesn't have a lot of book time,
Mhm.
but that you picked her out. I think that's interesting. That's interesting. So we got Nash as your favorite guy.
Mhm.
Zayd is your favorite girl with Jayla being close behind her. Um, when the book ended, how did you feel? What was your reaction to the end of the series? Now you finished all three books. How did you feel?
Felt like I didn't get the resolution that I was like craving for. You know,
Right.
like at Sex in the end of Sex in the City, like Big and Carrie ends up together.
Uh-huh.
Like there's like turmoil, and in this type of genre, when there's a relationship that has been the one in the series, and then you reach the climax, you're really hoping that it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was mad. I was pretty mad when it
No,
it
what did you say to me? You were low key mad.
I was mad at her. I was like, this amazing man, like, how are you gonna? Yeah, I won't spoil it, but
Okay, all right, it's all good. It's all good. So ratings, what would you rate the series of the Ranch and Stilettos?
10 out of 10, of course. I loved
Oh,
it. Oh my gosh, it's so fun to read. It's not superficial, even though it's like fun and light and easy to read, and it kind of takes you out of the mundane into this, beautiful, feminine, ranchy, glamorous. Like it's so fun, but the threads that run through the relationships, the sisterhood, the real love is very deep. And I just loved the series.
Well, and because they're loosely based on a group of friends of mine, of course, you know, real life has its ups and downs. We know that, but there's nothing better than to be able to count on people that you care about. And I guess Zaid is basically an alpha, she is kind of a workaholic type, personality. But she's there for those girls. She absolutely wants them to have whatever they need. And that's real life. I think we're all in real life, the dreamers are that way with each other. So, it was an honor for me to be able to include them in my story because they've always been a part of my story.
Aww. Well, I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you have them because you are the most amazing woman and you deserve to have people who are of that caliber. I can only imagine how they are in real life. So I'm so happy.
Well, I adore you, you know that. And I know that our relationship is a newer friendship, but I couldn't love you more if I had actually given birth to you. You were just the coolest kid, and all the things that you're able to do every day, including find time to read three of my books. And I know how busy you are. So I want to thank you for spending some time with me to talk about where these books are going. And the next step is, of course, working our way into film. So keep us prayed up, girl.
I will. It's going to be fabulous. I can't wait to see it.
Well, you know what? Since this is cocktails and conversations, let's toast out.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. I love you, girly girl.
Love you too.
All right.